Hello everyone, I am Kavita Chamaria and I will tell you today how a beginner can get started in the stock market. There are various free online resources which you can make the best use of. We will discuss about 6 such websites, starting with the exchange websites. There is the nseindia.com and the bseindia.com. After that, we will be discussing about some charting softwares, starting with netdania.com and charting.com. Then we'll move on to the website where we can get company informations for free, which is the moneycontrol.com. And lastly, we'll wrap it up after discussing about Google Finance. So now, let's look at these websites in greater details.
Let's get started with our first website. In front of you, we have the nseindia.com, which is the official website for the National Stock Exchange. This portion is the live market watch. Now what you see here is Nifty 50, which is the index of NSE. What is Nifty? Nifty is an average of 50 stocks which are selected based on their market float that are traded on NSE. Now the prices of these 50 underlying stocks determine the price of Nifty. And what you see here is the live price at which Nifty is currently trading in the market. Beside this, the minus 138.95 which you see is how much Nifty has fallen from yesterday in comparison to the close. The same is presented in a percentage format here. These numbers change with respect to the previous day's closing price. Right below here, this is the intraday chart of Nifty. This is a line chart plotting the movement of Nifty from the time of opening, that is from 9:15 up to 3:30. Below this, you can see there are advances, declines, and unchanged. As we've already discussed, Nifty comprises of 50 stocks. Now, how many stocks among these 50 are trading higher or advancing in comparison to their yesterday's closing is given here. How many stocks are declining in comparison to yesterday's closing are given here. And how many stocks remain unchanged, that is, same as yesterday's close, are shown here. Now, if we move a little lower, we have 3 sections here. The Nifty 50 gain or losers, the currency rates, the announcements. Let's talk about the Nifty 50 gainers and losers. In this section, you can see the stock by names, last traded prices, and percentage change in volumes which have gained. Gained in the sense that they are currently trading at a price which is higher than yesterday's closing. Below this, we have the losers section. We see the top 5 gainers and losers over here. For today, we can see that Hero Motor Company and HCL Tech, Asian Paints, etc. are gaining, whereas the biggest losers are VEDL, Adani Ports, Hindalco, each losing 6 to 5% variably. The next section here is the currency rates. Now, these currency rates are determined in the forex market. We have the 4 currency rates for international currencies expressed in terms of rupee. Over here, we see the important corporate announcements which come about in the companies which are listed only on the NSE. Since this is the National Stock Exchange website, this section shows news for only those companies which are listed on the NSE. These are just snippets. If you want more information on them, there are these view all tabs beneath each section where you can click and get more details. Besides this, there is another tab which is of interest for you, the live market tab. Everything that is currently happening in the NSE is visible over here. Another tab which is of interest to you is this, the live market tab. You can find tools to use while the markets are active. For example, if you want to know which are the stocks which are hitting circuits, this is where you need to go. There is a chart section separately on NSE which you can learn to use. If you want to know which stocks are hitting their 52-week high or low, this is the tab to go. Now, of all the stocks that are there on NSE, which of them are advancing or declining, this is the tab which will tell you more in details about them. Now, let's move on to another website, that is www.bseindia.com. There isn't much difference between the BSE and the NSE website. It's more or less the same. You have the Sensex Intraday Chart. Now let me point out, Sensex is the index for the BSE. It comprises of 30 stocks instead of the 50 which we saw on Nifty for NSE. Below we have the various indices which, other than the Sensex, which are trading on the BSE, like the BSE 100, the BSE 200, or the mid caps or the small caps. Moving on, we look at moneycontrol.com. Here we have the site of Money Control open before us. For anyone who is active in the stock market, Money Control is literally their best friend. Any company on which you want information, about which you want to know the current news, about which you want to look into the fundamentals or the charts, you just need to feed the name or the quote of the company. Here, you will get the details. Now, on the front page of Money Control, we have the news section. A little lower, they show news as they come and go. This keeps getting updated all the time. So if you're just getting started in the market, it is very important that you keep tab of the news which flows in the market. Because when you keep a tap on that, you will be able to observe the news and then observe the particular stock to see what effect the news has. Then you will learn that what kind of news are important, because all news don't move stocks. Okay, and it's not necessary that if there is a huge movement in the stock, there'll be a huge news behind that. So you really need to have a sense of filter, which news to follow and which news to drop. So if you start following the news and following the stocks correspondingly, you will learn really fast. Then you will be able to learn by just reading the books. Now, this market action section, over here you can see Money Control has listed both the Indian indices, Sensex and Nifty for you. Now, below this, we have the international indices as well. Now, currently in the market, you must have heard about the Chinese market falling or the European markets reacting, the Dow falling after it opens. So you have to have a little idea of how the international indices are falling, since globalization has brought this, interrelation between the markets. So if one particular market in any country sees panic, the same spreads to other countries. So in order to determine how your own country is going to perform after the stock market opens at 9:15, you have to have an idea of how the other international markets have performed. Below this, we have the commodities: gold, silver, natural gas, and crude oil. You can track the movements here. Again, we have a section for currencies. Just for example, let's look at an example stock, say Infosys. Now, as you can see on the chart, Money Control will list for you both the BSE quotes and the NSE quotes. Look closely. This is the previous close, that is the closing for yesterday. This is the current traded price. This is the change in comparison to yesterday's closing, and this is the percentage change. This is the volume which has been traded. Now, if you hover over this, you will see it shows the average volume for the past 5, 10, and 30 days. So for looking at the average values of the volume for the past 5, 10, or 30 days, you can take an estimate of how much activity or how much action Infosys is seeing today. Is it higher, is it lower, or is it neutral? So when you learn more about analysis, you will know that volume plays a very major role in stock analysis. So this is the open price for today. Now these are the bid prices and the offer prices. I hope you know about the spread when the stocks are actively traded and when there is a lot of activity in a particular stock. The spread, that is the difference between this bid price and the offer price, tends to get minimized. Over here, right beneath, we have the days low price and the high price, the 52 weeks low price and the high price. Over here, you have the market depth, that is what quantity is available, for buying at what prices. Now, if we move down, we have a chart section. For anybody who is interested in technical analysis, can look into the moneycontrol.com charts and use the tools for their analysis. Now, here are the different sections which can help you further your study on Infosys. The news section, if you click on this, you will get the news which are relevant to this particular company. The announcements are the corporate announcements, like their results or change in the board of director, change in the management, or any new policy which the company might be introducing, or their new plans for expansion, etc. Any announcement which the company makes comes under this section. Here is the corporate sections, corporate actions, followed by financials, annual reportings. The annual reportings are mandatory by both the exchanges, NSE and BSE. The shareholdings. Now here you will see of the entire market, of the entire capital structure for any company, how much or what proportion of that is held by promoters, how much of it is available for the retail buyers, and how much of it is held by qualified institutional professionals or other institutions. Now that is also a very important thing to note. I would like to remind you of a case. Everybody's heard about the Satyam scam. Uh, the only giveaway before the scam had come to public, the only giveaway before the scam had come to open was that the promoter had started reducing his own holding. So had anybody been looking at the shareholding, they would have known that there is something fishy in the stocks. I'm not saying that every time promoters give away their holdings there's something fishy, but then the fact combined with other factors can obviously shed light on much. Now here we have the peers tab, in which you can see other companies which are in the same sector, like Infosys, since this is the IT sector. If you click on this, you will see other sectors like other companies like HCL or Hexaware and Tech Mahindra, and you will be able to compare their fundamentals, their performance, their price movements, etc. Here you have the company information. So that is all we have to see on the Money Control website. Now let's move on and look at some charting websites, starting with chartinc.com. Now this is a very user-friendly website. All you need to do is feed in the symbol for the company which you would like to study. Say we choose Ashok Leyland. You have the option of choosing whatever indicator you are comfortable with studying. You have to set the period, the range, and the type of chart which you would like to study. Here you have the chart. You can carry out your analysis. There are tools available which you can use to further the same. Similarly, there are other websites like netdania.com, investing.com, which you can also use to further your prowess in chart analysis. Lastly, let's look at Google Finance. Now, most of us don't know about this, but Google has a separate section which is completely devoted to the financial markets. This particular section does not work like the rest of Google. You have to be very particular in using it. For example, if we want to know the news or the quotation of any stock that is trading on NSE, you need to first feed in the exchange followed by colon and then the symbol. Say we've got HCL Tech over here. So let's just click on this. So this is the format how you'll have to feed in the name, and Google Finance will give you the live market view of this particular company. Same as we saw on the NSE and the BSE sites. This is the current traded price. This is the change in price from yesterday's close, and this is the percentage change. This is the real time. Here we have the range 52 weeks low and everything else. Over here on the right hand side, we have a news section. Now, if you move down, you also have the peers of the company listed right here. The other IT companies that are trading right now. Key stats and ratios for HCL Technologies are available here at the right hand side corner, a small description and other information. Now we are approaching the end of this particular session. Let's get back to the NSE website and look at this part under live market, which is called the NSE Pathshala. Now, naturally, you've done your analysis, you've done your studies, you've got some conclusions and some views. You would like to practice that before you put in your real money in the market or make any suggestion to somebody. All you need to do is come to this part, which is called the NSE Pathshala. You'll find the tab again under the live markets, tools. You have NSE Pathshala. Go there, make a new account, and this is a virtual trading portal for you. You don't have to put in any real money. You can just use this, make an account, and carry out what is called virtual trading or paper trading. So that will help you determine by yourself how good your analysis is and whether you should carry on with it, what changes you need to do in your analysis system in order to improve and be better. So this is all for now. I hope you found this useful. Do leave your comments, and if there's any other question which you have, do ask us questions. We'll definitely try and get back to you within a couple of days. Thank you for listening. Keep learning.